Hi guys, I wanted to welcome you tonight to a live Facebook training on how to use essential oils safely. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Amanda Mancini. I am a personal trainer. I am a health and wellness coach. I am a mom of two. I love to use essential oils for my family. And so tonight I'm going to teach you how to use them safely. I'm going to give people a couple minutes to come on. Hi, Amy. I have my diffuser here tonight with me. So if you are new to essential oils and you haven't used diffuser before, they're amazing for just general mood boosting, for relaxation. And you can put different oils in the diffuser depending on what kind of mood you're looking to kind of bring to the home. So they're really nice. They're great for purifying the air. They're great if you're sick, if you have congestion, sinuses, allergies, those types of things. So what I'm going to do tonight, I'm going to get started because I want to make sure that this is being recorded. So for people that can't jump on tonight, you can watch this after the fact. So if you have questions watching this recorded, you can post it on the video and I will see it after the class and I can definitely answer your questions for you. And I would suggest you have a pen and paper handy as well, because if you're using essential oils, you're not going to remember everything right away. So you'll definitely want to have that handy so you can refer back to your oils. So for tonight, I'm going to go over a couple of different things. I'm going to go over first the biggest mistakes that people basically make with essential oils. So many people are using them today. They're so popular now. They're in Hi Lori, they're in Costco. I see them in Bed Bath & Beyond. They're everywhere. They're in Harmon's, you name it. But a lot of people don't realize that a lot of times the oils are not true and pure oils. So if that's the case, you can definitely have more of an issue using them as well. So there's a lack of education with some things regarding the usage of oils. So I'm going to go over the biggest mistakes that people make with the oils. And I'm going to go over proper dilution of using essential oils and dosage and sensitivity and those kinds of things. And again, anything that I don't touch on, if you have a question during this video, feel free to post it, and I'd be happy to answer the question. If I don't know it right away, I will definitely get back to you on that. So just so you know, essential oils are extracts from plants. They're extremely powerful. They are a form of plant-based medicine for people today, and I think a lot of people want to practice more self-care. So they want to make sure that they have a little more control of what they're putting on their body, in their bodies, and having being free of having to use medications and things like that might be unnecessary. You have to understand that essential oils are very, very powerful. And just like anything else, if you use them in excess of the amount that you should, you can have a toxicity occur in your body. Just like if you drink too much water, you can overdrink water and have hyponatremia, which is could be a fatal condition. Anything. You could take a medication. If you take too much of it, it could then become toxic to you. So it's the same thing with essential oils. They are very, very powerful. And if you don't know how to use them properly, you could be exposing yourself or your family to harm, or, to making some, more of an issue than was there before. So the first thing I'm going to go over that I see, the first mistake that I see with people with essential oils is mostly, my opinion, lack of education. They just don't know the proper way to use them. They have no idea, and they just apply them in the wrong spots, so they're putting them internally in their bodies, and they shouldn't be putting too much on. Those are things that are lacking in education. So if you are looking to learn about essential oils, it's really a great idea to have a mentor. And that's what I did when I first started with essential oils. And then that person had exposed me to different sources of education. And that's how I learned. So I definitely encourage you to, if you're somebody invited you to watch this tonight, reach back to that person so that they can help teach you. So you're not just floating around and, God forbid, making a mistake, a health mistake using essential oils in the wrong way. The other thing I see people do is they disregard quality. Some people just sheerly looking at the price. And in this case, you truly get what you pay for. A pure essential oil is going to be free of toxins, fillers, pesticides, contaminants. And if you go to Amazon or in a store that you don't know the sourcing behind the company, if you don't truly know how they're tested and what's going on with the way they're produced, you could be buying an impure oil. It could even say it's 100% organic, but that doesn't mean that's typically that's the case. It could be it has organic ingredients in it enough to say that it's organic, but it might be the coconut oil, the carrier oil that's added to the essential oil that's organic, and then they could still say that. And the reason why is there's no governing body to make any judgment on what people are doing, what companies are doing. So it's really important that you align yourself with a very reputable company. And I use the company that I use is called doTERRA. So you can see the label right there. It's the largest essential oil company in the world. Their testing is like no other in the whole world. And the oils are considered certified pure therapeutic grade. So you can see that little label there. And that'll ensure that it's 100% pure, potent, free from toxins, contaminants, fillers, you name it. And the other thing I like to tell people is if you're going sheerly by price and you're just picking up anything off the shelves, it might smell like, if you buy peppermint oil or something, it might smell like peppermint oil to you, but it's just not going to do what it's supposed to do for your body. So if you're using it for headaches or you're using it for stomach discomfort or pain and inflammation, it's just not going to work, So you do get what you pay for with that. And again, you want to make sure that you're using oils that are safe, that are tested, and that are real, okay? Okay, so then the third thing that I see people do a lot is they I just skipped over, I'm sorry. They assume safety is the same for all the oils. So you have to understand that with oils, there are certain oils you can use for certain things and they're not safe for other things. So that's, again, a lack of education on that end. So I'm going to go through a couple of things that I think we need to make sure. So I went through disregarding quality, which is a big deal, and then using all the oils in the same way. So you have to make sure that oils such as like pine oils, like wintergreen, cedarwood, those oils, you can't take them internally. So you have to know, and what I like about doTERRA is if you look at the bottle, it will tell you if it's safe to take it internally or not, or if it's only safe to be applied topically to your body. So this one, for example, peppermint, it says for internal use, so you can use it that way. And you can use it on your body and aromatically. So that's another thing. Okay, so forgive me for looking at my notes, but I don't want to forget anything. Okay, another thing that I see people do is, and I didn't know this actually until not that long ago, but you're not supposed to inhale the oils directly for more than 5 minutes. So if you're sick and you're using the oils to inhale, let's just say oregano and melaleuca, whatever it is you're using, and you have your face over a steaming bowl of oils, you should only have your face over that for about 5 minutes. So direct inhalation of oils for no more than 5 minutes. So if you're doing it longer than that, I would tell you not to do that anymore. You shouldn't diffuse for more than 8 hours. So this is a diffuser. Again, if you guys are just jumping on, this is a diffuser. And if you have it running in your home, you shouldn't diffuse for more than 8 hours at a time. Okay, so just take a break on that. And then using essential oils long-term internally, like you need to switch them up. And we'll talk a little bit about that. I'm going to focus more on essential oils for topical use more than internal at this point because it'll take us too long and I want to make sure that we're done by 8:30. Okay, the other thing I see people do is, and I've seen this a lot on the internet lately, is people are starting to see viral posts about the pet safety of essential oils for pets. And there's a lot of misinformation out on the internet. There's a lot of false information. And again, bringing it back, you have to have people that are helping you that know what they're doing. So you can't assume that all essential oils are safe for all pets because they're not. But you can use so many essential oils that are amazing for pets. You just have to know which ones. And usually, if the pet doesn't like the smell of something, they'll leave the room or they'll just walk away, But so not recommended for pets off the top. And this is just a very bare, I'm just going through a couple of them. Birch oil, clove oil, oregano, thyme, wintergreen, and melaleuca, which is also known as tea tree oil. And then the ones that are definitely safe for dogs are lavender, frankincense, wild orange. Those are some of the main ones that you'll see a lot. Those are fine for dogs, but you have to kind of go by how the dog feels. I'll give you an example of my sister. She has a dog, and I gave her some oils, and she put wild orange in the diffuser like this, and every time she had wild orange in the diffuser, the dog would start rolling around on the floor, in happiness. And so she knew that obviously the dog enjoyed it, and citrus oils are known for being very boosting for your mood, so it did that for the dog. So if you're interested in knowing which oils are safe for pets, you can shoot me a message on here, and I'll forward you the document that will tell you which ones you can use. So don't think that just because you have an animal that you can't use essential oils. You absolutely can. You can use them on your body. You can use them in diffuser. But if it's something that's not good for the animal, you wouldn't apply it to their body, and you wouldn't, maybe diffuse it in the home. But there's hundreds of oils that are available that are great for pets. Again, if you have questions, post on this video, and I will definitely get to your questions. Okay. Next thing I wanted to say is another mistake people use is using essential oils on the same as you do on adults and children. So the dosages are different. Kids are much more sensitive than adults, so you can't use the same strength of oil that you would use on yourself. You wouldn't use as much, and you would also dilute the oil a lot, and I will go over what I mean by diluting if you're new to essential oils. But you definitely want to use oils that are mild on children, and you're using less, and you're diluting it. A couple oils you do have to make sure that you're careful with. It would be peppermint, which off the top of my head, I think it's recommended 6 and up. I researched this today, and if you have a child that's under that age, I guess I would probably be a little more, what's the word I'm looking for? Give me the word. I would just watch how much you're using for that. Eucalyptus is also another one that you have to watch for. You can't use too much of that around the children under a certain age. April, I think you're on. If you know the age, you can please post it. I didn't write it down. Certain oils you would be using during pregnancy, and certain oils after pregnancy are great, and then there's certain oils that wouldn't be the best for you. Certain oils that I know are great for pregnant women are ginger, especially for nausea, lavender, lemon, orange. Those oils are great. Again, if you have questions about which oils, just contact me, or you can definitely look and do your research online, but you can't just go by one. People post things all the time that are false on the internet. You have to go through a reputable company. So doTERRA, the company that we use, you can see the label a little bit better on there. doTERRA is great because they have a blog. They have lots of education available to you. So if you're looking for information, you could go right on the website and type in what you're looking for, and they're going to give you true and up-to-date information on everything. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over diluting oils and how the best way to use them. Okay, so bear with me here. Okay, I have my papers. All right, so first things first, essential oils are extremely potent. You only need 1 to 2 drops, maybe 3 to get the benefit that you want. So if you have, if you're an adult and you're new to essential oils, what I would recommend is first you always want to avoid sensitive areas. You want to avoid your eyes, the genital area, anywhere that, your body's extremely sensitive. So I always say that if you're going to use essential oils, you're not sure if if your body's going to have a sensitivity to it, do a little test on yourself. So before you're using an oil for, let's just say, headaches, so this is peppermint oil. Certain oils are known to be very mild to the skin, and certain oils are known to be a little more hot oils on the skin, so you'd want to have what we call a dilution. So let's just say you're using peppermint oil. What I would recommend to you is take a little bit of coconut oil, which is what we call a carrier oil. And a carrier oil helps to prevent skin sensitivity. It helps to transport the oil, carry the oil into the skin. And you can use any kind of oil you want. You can use olive oil, you can use almond oil, walnut oil, grapeseed oil. I could keep going. But But we use fractionated coconut oil because it is very lightweight on the skin. It has no scent, and it's well tolerated by most people. It has a long shelf life. So what I do, if I'm using an oil for the first time, and I happen to be very, very sensitive, so I always test the oils first on my body, and what I do is on my wrists. So I'll take a little coconut oil, put a couple of drops, like 2 or 3 drops on my skin, and then I take a drop of, let's just say I'm using peppermint because it's the only one I brought here down with me today. I take a drop of peppermint oil and I rub it on my skin, and then I wait a few hours to make sure that there's no sensitivity to my body. Sometimes people could have a sensitivity if they use too much, or if they didn't use coconut oil or another oil with it. So just know that you can't have a true allergic reaction to an oil because it doesn't contain the protein that's going to cause an allergic reaction. So you could have a skin sensitivity, which they're very rare. It's not something that occurs often, but if you have any redness or anything like that, you can have it. What you can do, number one, is you can either dilute the oil further, put more oil on it, or you can use less of the actual oil itself. So test it on yourself first. Make sure that there's no sensitivity, and 9 times out of 10, even more, you're not going to have any issues. But again, there's certain oils that are well tolerated by themselves and certain oils that you always want to dilute, and I'll go into that. Before you use an oil internally, and again, I encourage you to take notes because I'm even looking at my notes and I'm doing this for a while now. Just write it down because that we can go back and check it out when I'm telling you tonight. But check the label first and make sure that it's safe for dilution. It's safe for topical application, or it's safe for internal use. Just look at the label. And so here it tells you it's safe for internal use. It says it on there. But if it's not, it will tell you it's not safe for internal use. So always look at the label. Don't assume that it's okay. I want to get through this before I go into specifics of dilution. Be aware of some of the oils that are what we call photosensitive oils. This is something else that people don't realize. There are certain citrus oils and mostly citrus oils, but I know there are a couple of other oils as well, that if you apply them to your body, you have to avoid direct sunlight for about 12 hours after putting them on. So if you love citrus oils, you love orange, wild orange, lime, lemon, bergamot, grapefruit oil, any of the blends. If you're already using doTERRA products, I know some of them are not good for the sun also. Cheer, Motivate, I think Forgive, anything with citrus oils you have to watch. What will happen is you can have a skin sensitivity from having the oil on your body and then being the sun. So especially if you're going to be laying out, and getting any sun for any period of time. I have had this happen to me. I like to run. Those of you that know me, I put some of the citrus oils on my skin before I went out, and I completely forgot. And when I came home, I had 2 red blotches here, and that was just from an hour of running. So you don't want to find out the hard way with that. I did write them down, actually. Forgive me. Citrus Bliss. If you're using doTERRA already, you'll know some of these words. Aroma Touch, Bergamot, Breathe oil, Motivate, lemon, lime, grapefruit, Intune, Forgive, On Guard, Purify, Slim and Sassy, Zenzicrine, and Wild Orange. Those are all the ones that you have to be careful of in the direct sunlight. So what you can do is either diffuse the oils. I love citrus oils. They're actually my favorite. You can just diffuse them in the summertime and don't apply them to your body. Or you can apply them to the bottom of your feet, which is a great place to put the oils if you're not going to be putting your feet in direct sunlight. So you just have to kind of be careful and be mindful of it. And I did learn the hard way with that, unfortunately. Okay, so children are always more sensitive to oils than adults. The elderly are more sensitive. And then you just got to go by your own body. I am extremely sensitive. I dilute my oils all the time. I've had... anything will bother my skin. It could be laundry detergent. So go by how you are. You might be one of those people that nothing bothers your skin, and that's great. But children, elderly, always dilute the oils. Always add coconut oil so that you have no issues. You don't have to worry. That's what it's there for. And there's so many other uses for the oils. You can use them to clean your house. You can use them for laundry. You can use them for emotional health, for mood boosting, for your beauty routine. So there's so many other ways to use the oils. You can have one oil that can be used in hundreds of different ways, and So if you're, let's just say in the summertime, you have an issue with the citrus oils on your body, I can give you 100 other uses for those oils that you won't worry so much about that one way that you were using them. Okay, so I mentioned some sensitive areas to be avoided. The facial areas around the eyes, inner ears, genitals, and any broken, damaged skin, that kind of thing. You'll definitely want to know which oils that you're using in those areas. Okay, so I went over that. If you guys have questions, again, post it. If you're just tuning in now, I see some people coming on. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over dilution. Now, the purpose of the dilution, again, is to help people avoid sensitivities, help to disperse the oil over a larger area. Your skin will be absorbing the oils better, actually. So if you're diluting oils, and when I say diluting, again, putting a carrier oil in there with the oil, you are able to, you're not lessening the effect of the oil. You're just slowing the absorption of the oil. That's the purpose of it. So I love to use a dilution method with almost every time. Okay, so if you are the typical recommended amount is, I'm just jumping down. Hold on, I just want to make sure I didn't forget something. Forgive me, I went down the wrong way. Okay, I'm going. So okay, so for this is a chart. I can post this for you, but this is a chart that tells you the recommended amounts of drops you can use for a 24-hour time period. So I love that. If you're using the oils internally, for example, every time you use your oils internally, like I love grapefruit oil, I put it in my water. It'll tell you, you can have, this chart's great. This is on the doTERRA website also. So if you want to find this, just go to your doTERRA site if you're part of this doTERRA already, and it'll tell you. So you can have, let's just say I put 2 drops in my water when I drink grapefruit oil, but if I'm drinking all day, the total amount for 24-hour maximum would be 12 to 24 drops. They give you numbers for children as well, and the same thing for topically. Every time you use the oils, typical amount might be 3 to 6 drops. I personally don't even need that. Again, as a sensitive person, maybe 2 drops is fine for me, but you're better off using the oils more often and less in amount and more often than applying too much at once. So always start 1 or 2 drops, and then you can always increase it a little bit from there, but you don't need more than that. So one drop of peppermint oil, just to give you an example, is equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea. So when I first heard that, I was like floored. I couldn't believe that it's that powerful. So you don't need a lot, and you don't want to overdo it. You can use it about every 4 to 6 hours between applications. So let's just say you have a headache and you put 3 drops of peppermint oil on your temples. Then 4 hours from now, you can do it again. Some people use it a little more often. Use your judgment with that and see how you feel. Okay, so we're going to go from there. I told you about the skin sensitivity test. Do a test on yourself before you use the oil. Make sure you don't have any problems. I apply the coconut oil to my wrist. I add a little bit of the oil, the actual oil itself. I make sure there's no problems, and then I go from there. Okay, so let's see. I went over the dosages. Okay, give me a second here. I'm jumping. Okay, so there's a couple of things about dilution basics that people don't know. Number one, if you see that it says on the bottle it can be applied neat, people don't know what that means. N-E-A-T. That means you can apply it topically with no carrier oil, that it's very mild oil. So certain oils are fine. I use on my skin a lot of times without worrying about it would be frankincense, lavender, melaleuca, which is also known as tea tree oil, melissa, and sandalwood are good examples of neat oils. Okay, if there's another category of oils, if you look on the bottle and it says dilute, it means that the chemistry of that oil requires that you dilute the oil. So certain oils would include cinnamon, which is a hot oil, oregano, thyme, clove. Those oils are a little hotter on the skin, and you'll want to make sure that you have a dilution of a carrier oil on there. Sensitive oils, you should definitely always dilute. Those include eucalyptus, ginger, bergamot, black pepper. If you're using any of those are considered sensitive oils. But again, you might be a person that is not that sensitive. but they're just classifying it as that. And because of the way doTERRA sources their oils and the way that they educate their wellness advocates, you're always going to have the best information available to you using a company like this. If you go on Amazon and you're just randomly buying something because it says, pure or organic, doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting what you think you're paying for. So I love that I can go back to the company and really see all the science behind it and really understand what I'm using. So there's a lot of education that will help you, kind of learn about this, and it's not rocket science. It's all there for anyone to access at any time. Okay, so let's see if there's anything I missed. There's a couple ways that you can use the oils on your body that are best, in my opinion, to use them that way. So again, always dilute if you're concerned about sensitivity for children and yourself. But I love it on the face. If you're doing it on your face, you can apply it anywhere in your skin. Just watch your eyes, not inside the nose, things like that. Anywhere it's sensitive, I would watch for. To ease feelings of tension, you're going to go around the temple area, behind the ears, the back of the neck is a good spot. If you're having digestive issues, apply the oils to your abdominal area where your stomach is. If you're having pain in your body, the knees, the lower back, those are good spots as well. People also use the essential oils internally to help with mood boosting, immune support. So you can apply it to under your tongue or on the roof of your mouth. 1 or 2 drops there would be great as well. If you have trouble breathing, you're a person that has asthma, or you just have sinus issues, things like that, you can apply it directly to your chest. That's a great spot, especially peppermint oil, breathe oil, if you know doTERRA blends already, lemon oil. Those oils are great for helping with congestion. The bottoms of the feet are an amazing place to apply the oils, especially to children. So you have to worry with kids that they're not touching their oils on the body and then putting it on their face. And that's why applying to the feet is a great spot. I actually still do that with my kids. We have a question here. Any oils that assist with the sciatica? Yes. We're big on Deep Blue. I think you have that, Carrie. Deep Blue is a blend for pain and inflammation. So that one has, when we say blends, doTERRA blended the best oils for pain and inflammation in one product. So Deep Blue would be my go-to. April, if you know of any others, you can pop in with that. But that's my go-to. I also love peppermint. I love lemongrass. I'm thinking about what you have right now. But frankincense, lavender, those are all great for anti-inflammatory effect. But again, going back to the bottoms of the feet, that's a great place. You're welcome. A great place to put the oils on children. Now, if you do have a child using essential oils, and I'm jumping around, I have papers all over the place here, so forgive me. You have to be careful with the kids. If they think it's a toy or whatever, you don't want them ingesting, obviously, oils without your knowledge. And because it could be toxic at high doses, just like if you have cleaning products in your cabinet, you're not just going to leave it for the child to go and grab at any point. But the kids especially, they're always touching their faces. So make sure that you wash your hands after applying the oils. You have the child wash their hands. And if they're really young, I wouldn't put it in places where they're going to be able to access touching themselves. So I also do on my kids, and they're 14, embarrassingly enough, I still do this, but I apply the oils to their spine because that's a good place to apply the oils for immune support and things like that. So if they're sick, you apply it just a swipe up and down the spine. So we use, for ease of application, we use something called a roller bottle. So this is a roller bottle if you're new to oils. What I do, you can buy these already done, but I like to make my own. They're so easy to do. You get them on Amazon, and if you look here, there's a roller bottle on top, and all you do is you take the essential oils of choice, whatever they are, and sometimes it's a combination of an oil, and I'll put about 20 to 30 drops in here for an adult. So for a child, I'd probably put about half of that, maybe 10 to 15 drops total, maybe even less depending on the age of the child. So let me know if you have questions on that, and I'll give you the chart of the amount of dilution that you want in there. And you'll keep a roller bottle handy because it's just easy to apply and take around with you, especially if you're using more than one oil. So for my kids, at night, I leave we have like what we call a protective blend. It's immunity blend. It's called On Guard. I should have brought it down here, but it's amazing. It has cloves, cinnamon, thyme, wild orange, rosemary, all these oils that are great for your immune system. And at the second I see that they're not feeling well, I'll either swipe the bottom of their feet or I'll just do their back, right up and down the spine like that. And I have to say that I very rarely need medication in my house. I very, very rarely do we use it. And even for myself, I will say with the On Guard, I'm always surprised at the power behind the essential oils, but the On Guard blend especially is probably my favorite blend out of all the oils for the amount of things it can do. So I'll give you an example. I just posted it today, but I had a cold sore coming out on my, like I get them under my nose when I get stressed out, which I was last week, and I get a cold sore right away. I haven't had one in about 3 years. And I'll get to that in 1 second, Teresa. I applied the On Guard to the cold sore. It stopped it in its tracks. I mean, it did not actually come out. I felt the raised skin. I felt the itching coming on. It stopped. And I'm still amazed by it because I used to get all that stuff from the dermatologist and it would crust over and do the whole process. If you're a cold sore sufferer, you know how horrible they are. And once you get them, you seem to keep getting them when you're stressed out and it's not good. So it stopped it immediately. It was amazing. So I highly recommend On Guard. I know that's getting off topic. What would you recommend for applying lemon? Where? Okay, if you have congestion, you could do multiple things. You could put lemon and Breathe oil. I think you have Breathe, Teresa, in the diffuser. I do 4 drops each, but for also that'll help, purify the air and help with clear airways. But for congestion in the back of the throat, if you have mucus going on back there, you take 1 drop in some warm water and you gargle with it, and it'll clear up any mucus going on in the back of the throat. If you have a runny nose, you can apply it to the bridge of your nose. It will help with that. You can add a drop of lavender, lemon, and peppermint and do it here and on your cheekbone area, your sinus area, and that will help with congestion as well. Lastly, you could put it directly on the chest as well. And I like that on the chest with Breathe. I do that a lot for my kids. So that's a good thing. Okay, so we're at 8:32. I went a little bit over, but I hope that helps you guys to know that, again, watch the sun with the oils. Do a skin sensitivity test and make sure that you're not sensitive. But you have to use real oils, pure oils. If you don't know what those are, I highly recommend that you look into the company that we use because there's nobody that comes close to it, in my opinion. And you'll know that the safety and efficacy of the oils that you're using, and that's my first and foremost. And just make sure that you are using less is more. You don't have to do a lot at one time, 1 or 2 drops, and kind of figure out what works for you. I have some oils that I love, I use every day, and then there's certain oils that I don't need as often, and there's no expiration date on them. So if you have an oil that you don't use all the time, that's okay. It'll be good in 5 years if you need it in 5 years. But you will be using them more often than that, especially the common oils like I mentioned before, the frankincense, lemon, lavender, peppermint. Those are oils that I use every single day, and so many different ways. I could spend another hour on here talking about it. So what I want to say to close this with you tonight is if you're not using essential oils, or you are using essential oils and you're not sure if they are good oils, and you're not really sure what you're doing, having a team, having somebody mentor you is really the best way to learn about essential oils. And we have an amazing team. So if you want to learn more about the oils, let me know, and I will connect you with some information. I'll tell you how to get them at a discount. You can get your own wholesale account and get your oils at 25% off. So if you're going to Amazon, you're definitely not getting them at wholesale costs, I'll tell you that much. And if you are ordering off Amazon, be careful. There are people on there, if they're selling doTERRA oils, they're not allowed to do that. So they are no longer with the company. A lot of times they tamper with the oils and they fill them with coconut or other oils that you won't know the difference, and you won't be able to tell that the bottle was tampered with. Okay, so I don't advise you to do that. If you're looking only at price, you're going to get the best price from doTERRA. They made it so that you can have a wholesale account and that you can get your oils at a discount. All right, so I'm going to close this up. I appreciate you guys watching. If you know anyone that could benefit from this, please share the video. And I'm going to be doing another one this week on I think essential oils for family health. I know we all have, a lot of you guys have kids, so we need to know more about doing what we can for them and reducing the toxic exposure of cleaning products and all these horrible things that are causing respiratory problems, skin allergies. If you have child suffering from eczema and all these things, allergies and asthma, those things are common from common products, toxic products in the home. So I want to share some information with you guys about that. And thanks again for watching, and I hope you guys have a good night.